G'day, this is Captainoob, and this is an Infiltrator SMG. This is a standalone submachine gun type weapon with a big helical jump on the top, a high fire rate, and vanilla plasma gun animations for its reload and recoil. I dare say this thing uses the same sound as a unsuppressed deliverer whilst firing because I think it sounds familiar, but I can't exactly quite put my finger on what it is. Also, I've never ever used a deliverer unsuppressed because why would you, right? Anyways, we're doing 36 damage right now. We're firing the 38 cartridges, which are not that strong. They're obviously very small. You can get a munitions version of this particular weapon. Will actually make it fire 9mm like it's true. And look, I see more and more of these gun mods saying, hey, you should use munitions. So one of these days, I might actually download it myself and clog up my load order some more. Let's get into the attachments. First of all, we've got the receivers as standard as basically always. You can go up to advanced, basically the same receivers as you'd find on a 44 Magnum there, so that's pretty good. Now it gets a little bit more interesting with the muzzles, because a muzzle brake and compensator, whilst allowing you to control the recoil, don't actually reduce your range like the vanilla game does for some balancing reason, although it's not realistic. You also can have a barrel extension on this, which is great because we kind of want to hold on to every single point of damage, and if we can deal slightly better damage at more effective ranges, then that's a pretty cool thing. Also, it kind of looks like my drill tech bit, so that's amusing. They also got a suppressor here, which will actually increase our range instead of reduce it like vanilla game guns. So we'll also get the Ace Operator perk, giving us just shy of 80 damage there, which is pretty nice. You can have no stock, a collapsed stock, an extended stock, and a full stock. Whether these are that useful, that's up to you, but this one appears to have better aim with scopes, and so does this. It looks like they've all picked up the marksman's trait, so I guess it's which one you like better. I suppose the heavier one here is going to be more effective at recoil control, but that's made of wood, and that's just clashing with the rest of the weapon, so we'll just go for the extended stock, and we'll move on. We've got iron sights, you can get glowing sights, you can get reflex sights, which uses this sort of hidden Picatinny rail down the back there to place this sort of cool mount. You can have a combat sight, which I believe is just a fancy version of saying a see-through scope, which is kind of cool. It looks like it has a reflex sight for its reticule as well, which is nice. A short scope, which will probably behave like a regular scope, and a laser sight, which will increase your focus and sighted accuracy. Focus, I don't even know what that means. Maybe that'd apply for a actual laser gun, but you know, that's cool having a option for a laser sight on the sight slot, which you'd think you'd be able to put on a laser sight and a sight at the same time, but that's just not how this thing rolls. We'll go for a reflex sight for performance reasons. Legendary effect is there if you need it. Explosive would be devastating on this thing, and you can change this thing's paint job. So this one's olive. You can paint it black for a stealthy approach, obviously doing that. A 10, and you can also have a wood frame, which will match the wooden stock quite nicely, I think. And we've got full metal jacket rounds now. You can have hollow point. Armor piercing, very useful for a weapon with such low damage numbers. Frangible rounds is interesting because it adds bleeding damage. And if it's like well, it's giving me the wounding keyword to change the name to wounding. So, wow, that's strong. You can just have a really rapid fire bleeding weapon for gun nut rank 2. That's interesting. There's also rat shot here, which will divide your damage between multiple projectiles. Honestly, that's not a good thing unless you've got frangible at the same time. Interesting. We'll just go for the straight up damage hollow point rounds here, and we don't have to worry about these hollow point rounds being stopped by armor. In fact, it'll be more effective against armor now because reasons. I'm stuck in Fallout New Vegas bullet logic. But anyways, here's our Infiltrator SMG, looking pretty nice if I do say so myself. We'll create a couple more of these. I'll show you where to get them, and then we'll get started. Okay, so welcome to Good Neighbor. I'm at Clear for a very special reason, because we're going to buy this thing, and if you're Craig Boone, look away now. I've got a Carla and you don't. Excellent. Alright, hurried up, robot. Anyway, so we're looking for an Infiltrator SMG, of course, and since I haven't loaded this cell in for a very long time, everything gets reshuffled as soon as I fast travel in there and speak of the SMG, and it shall appear. So yeah, they're going to be pretty easy to get, and they're cheap too. Might consume your 38 rounds, but they're dropped by raiders like candy at Halloween. Is that a joke Americans would understand? We should be able to get one from Arturo as well, Craig Boone of Virtual Eyes, and we're back into the shop looking for... Oh, there's Eugene from Fallout 3. Excellent. Infiltrator SMG, there it is. Now, this thing will spawn in shops and on other other gunners, raiders and stuff from level 18, so it's sort of an early to mid-game type weapon, and for firing 38s, then I guess that's okay. Also, it comes with this 22 full metal jacket thing, and I don't know what that's for. That's for something for modders to find out. He left that in as an Easter egg, I guess. Okay, so here we are in not Gunner's Plaza, and this is what the Infiltrator SMG looks like in first person. Now, I've noticed Dak say on the mod page that this thing's really big and it kind of needed to be. For this thing is using the plasma rifle animations and needed to size the weapon accordingly so the animations would work. But step into the power garage, and if we utilize this thing whilst in power armor, it's not going to look super small. So, in fact, you may think it would look too big, but it looks really good in the hands of power armor. That's actually kind of nice. That's excellent. Just ignore the clipping. That's fine. Also, I've just got a T60. This is Carla's power armor because if you listen to her talk, she says, if you ain't standing out, you ain't worth looking at.
If you ain't standing out, you ain't worth looking at.
I just said that. So, you know, bright pink power armor. Perfect. The helmet is powered like Visionary's paint. Visionary's unique version. And then you've got the VATS enhanced torso. We've got a powered right leg or a punishing left leg or the other way around. So it's basically as vanilla as you get. I've just added these legendary effects so we can pretend that we're using the right pieces, the actual unique ones. So there's nothing too modded about this power armor at all. Apart from the damage resistance, which is higher, because I think I made it all on par with XO1, so all of the companions would have the same amount of protection despite what they looked like, and yeah, that's power armor garage. Alright, so we're gonna try on the immersive Gunner's Plaza side today, not before we start off with just a little bit of sneaking around, even though this thing's outranged and we're only hitting for about 90, but if we can get those shots on, I'm sure the rate of fire would allow us to get a significant amount of damage, but well, it's still 100. That's not too bad, right? Anyways, I guess we'll just jump right in. And, yeah, didn't expect to see someone up in power armor today, did ya? We could tank all of this for days. Okay, down to 90. 85. Still plenty of gunners for me to chop through. Maybe we'll try to get headshots here just to get that DPS rolling a little bit more. Or maybe we could try and utilize a little bit of tactics, use the wounding version, because I did create a couple other of these, but for now we'll just keep out this one here because I feel like it's doing the job. So the DPS war is a little bit harder for them, at least, whilst wearing the power armor. Go in third person so we can see it. I've also got a jetpack on this, if you didn't notice. Jetpacks are fun. You can fly and totally break level design whilst doing it, and the game allows you to do it, so it's totally fine. Only now have we been dropped down to 50% health. Also, we can do that. Pain train, baby. I feel like it's an American tackle, sort of American football tackle right there. I think that's what it's supposed to be, but, you know, here in Australia, Aussie rules football, we call that a hip and shoulder. Bang, bang. And down you go. Honestly, if someone were to run up to you in power armor, completely sprint, I would expect such a reaction. So yeah, that's good. And you can just knock people down. It will take up AP when you hit stuff, so keep that in mind, but you don't have to worry about aiming that much. Okay, we're down into nerd rage now after all this time. Someone out there had a gnarly service rifle, I think. That's okay, we're in slow motion, and we can hit all of the headshots in a row, all of them. I could use this thing in VAT. I think I might now, actually. Just a little bit, just to see how we go. That's a little laser gun. And with that tiny little bit of reduction, we get so many shots. If we were a little bit closer, we probably would have killed that gunner by now. Anyways, let's move over. We've got a scoped version here with a combat... No, it's just a regular old scope, which is not too detrimental, and we can actually see the normal health bar if we look through a scope like that. Interesting. That Gauss rifle lady is gonna cause issues, so let's try to deal with that somehow. Maybe not. I don't know why I expected to leap higher. I've played Fallout 76. I get used to utilizing, what's it called? Mutations all the time. I feel like the rate of fire just seems to be slightly higher. Man, if I had Sentinel power armor right now, oh, I'd be doing no damage to me. But yeah, even after all of this protection and everything, as I quickly hop up here, like, we're struggling. You know what? I'm just gonna let gravity deal with that guy. Although he's ragdolled, so maybe he won't take that. Okay, that was a very timely level up. We can continue. Let's go over to our wounding one now, just to see what that's all about. Ah, the laser sight, you don't actually aim with the iron sights at all. You just use the laser sight, which has a... Well, it doesn't cast a little dot. It does, but not really anything that you could see properly. So we're going to hit this guy in the torso. Look how many shots we get. It's all in slow motion. I don't feel like it's exactly as powerful as legendary wounding, but I can appreciate that little bit of damage over time. A little bit harder to line up headshots. I think if I'm using this thing in third person, then I've got that actual dot for reference of where I'm aiming. You can definitely tell that this is no hollow point round in terms of its damage output. Ooh, someone's got a grenade launcher. That would have ragdolled me under normal circumstances, and that might be why I lost so much health quickly there. Just ignore the part where I was surrounded by 12 angry gunners. And maybe we can get an airborne kill here if we keep hopping around. Not quite. We ran out of fuel. Or rather, lift. You only get a small amount of lift with your power armor jetpack, which is... I guess it's for making sure players just don't fly up into the upper atmosphere. But, you know, it'd be cool if we could do that. We could take off like Jango Fett in Attack of the Clones after he shoots his assassin. That'd be cool, right? Alright, so we are finished. The battering ram is done here, and the power armor probably got multiple scratches and dings after the complete battering it took. So we're going to put this away and we're going to do things sneakily. Okay, the lights have been dimmed here thanks to the fact that the sun's gone down. And you might be wondering why I'm using an Infiltrator SMG for power armor, or whilst in power armor when I usually don't do that. The answer to that question is I'm just built different, that's why. So, so far so good. 220 damage per shot here. Allows us to easily cut down and basically mow down everything. Also, to get back on that, whether this thing has vanilla sounds, it definitely does have vanilla suppressed sounds. So, hooray for confirmation bias. We knew what we were dealing with, and we just chopped that guy down whilst in midair. Like I said, built different. Now, I've got the laser sight one here on standby, and it does look like it does reduce the hipfire spread, which if it didn't, I'd be raising my eyebrow, because video game logic dictates that, you know, we gotta be hipfiring whilst using a laser-sighted weapon. Oh, I'm in danger. Well, that's not good. We've been made. The infiltration is no longer on. Okay, we're back into caution now. This is gonna be sick. Watch this. Ready? Just mow them all down. Someone's got a grenade launcher. Is it you? It is you. Prepare to die. I'm going to shoot straight through that camera, even if I use all of my crits. Never mind. One will do. Good old classic multiplicative damage, right? And sneak multipliers on top of crit multipliers. It's good stuff. Now, luckily that turret didn't show where I was, because sometimes they do, you see, because the explosions, they cast light, and if you're standing in the light, enemies will see you. You could probably figure out how that works and the logic behind that. But so far, apart from being spotted once, I don't even think we've taken any damage. Never mind, we just got bumped on the head. But luckily enough for me, this thing is adequately providing enough staggers on my enemies to keep them nice and stun locked whilst I put more and more bullets into them. So for a 9mm submachine gun, we are certainly kicking a lot of ass for something that spawns at level 18 and such. And I didn't even kill that turret. Lose my touch. Yeah, for something that spawns so early in the game, like level 18, you'll get there within an hour. And do we not have classic holstered weapons? No, it doesn't. Oh, it's an Infiltrator SMG, so it's hidden somewhere. Don't ask where we put it. Okay, so I've just watched Swan clear out multiple enemies for me, which is great because we can get sneak criticals, but he's stuck down there now, so good luck to him. We're gonna creep nice and close to him so we can see all of that beautiful damage for what it's worth. He's actually stuck. He broke his own pathing, but look at that damage. That's insane. He's got his head stuck in a tree. We tried to get his head out with bullets, but never mind, didn't work. Okay, well, that kind of DPS, see, it's the fire rate, I think, and couple that with the multipliers, you're just gonna... I didn't expect it to be that good. I dressed up in power armor for a reason. Like, when you're not getting sneak criticals, sure, it sucks, but it's an Infiltrator SMG, so you're supposed to sneak and use stealth boys and such. Okay, let's keep this stealth train rolling, because, there's some creatures down there that I want to get rid of so we can get this actually going properly. But even from back here, and using a laser sight for our point of reference, which looks more like a dot on the screen and not a dot cast by any conceivable laser sight. And look, you're going to get critted because I don't think I can punch bullets through that. Never mind, that's a level scaling version of a blood bug, so he was tough. Anyways, let's VATS away here, because I think we could probably do it with just one VATS round. Unless I get spotted, which I haven't. I thought our DPS slowed down for a second. We might be losing damage over range, but that's fine. Potentially, if you've got yourself a VATS enhanced version of these, then you're gonna have absolutely no issues. Wait, we're just perma-staggering him. Okay, like, a stealth commando playstyle and build is gonna be effective anyway, but I'm honestly thinking this is bordering on overpowered for such a small cartridge that is light, at least in survival, and is cheap, and, gotta make sure these fishes are dead too. Yeah, there's cheap, light, and easy to obtain. Like, you can get a lot of damage out of that. It's a lot of bang for your buck there, but there you have it. I think that's enough for this thing. This is Infiltrator SMG. If you like what you see and are interested in downloading this mod for yourself, check out the link in the description. It's a fairly lightweight download. This one was from the mod page, meant to be in a big mod weapon pack, but I guess it didn't really live up to the standards of the other mod weapons in that pack. So maybe we're going to get a lot of good stuff down the pipeline from Degenerate Dak. And Dak, if you're watching this, hi! You don't have a Carla either. It's just me. Craig and Degenerate Dak don't have a Carla, but I do. Thank you very much for watching, guys.